Hey everybody, this is Mark Bozon with the IGN Nintendo team, and I'm here to give you guys a video review for Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood for Nintendo DS. Sonic Chronicles is a new RPG franchise that I think Sega is trying to kick off here, and they're starting it off with Dark Brotherhood, the first and only announced game so far, but it's done by BioWare's new handheld division in Canada. And really, in the end, it's not one specific thing that drags this game down or something that's just a huge major flaw that makes it where it doesn't work. Really, it just feels like a first-time effort. The game's your standard RPG fare. It's really made to be kind of a starter RPG for people, so it's not really very intimidating. There's a lot of hand-holding going on. There aren't random battles. You actually walk into people. And all around on the surface, it looks like a very nice game. I mean, visually, it's really impressive. It's got a nice hand-painted look to it. And, rather than going with tile design, they just literally painted on the screen. And it's got a really unique, very beautiful look on DS. On the gameplay front, though, Sonic Chronicles is seriously lacking. For starters, Sonic isn't the best source material for an RPG, and if BioWare could pull it off, it'd be seriously impressive. You've got your team, they're doing the standard, search for the Chaos Emeralds and go after Dr. Eggman. And it does get more complex than that, and you get a couple twists and turns. But all around, it just doesn't feel like a huge RPG story. You've got the interactive dialogue trees that BioWare's famous for, but they don't go very far. I mean, you can pick if you're going to say something nice or something mean to somebody, and they'll respond in that line after. But it doesn't extend, or you don't have, anything kind of like a good or evil, meter or anything like that. So things like that just kind of feel like they're sort of thrown in there, and the entire game overall just has this very thin RPG feel. It's more about just getting back in the overworld, running around, and using character skills. Really, the biggest gripe I have with Sonic Dark Brotherhood is just the whole game feels kind of soulless. The battle mechanic is a straight rip from Elite Beat Agents, and it works, but it could have been like one of 30 or 40 or 50 different unique ways using the touchscreen in fights, and instead it's kind of just this one mechanic that's used over and over again. As far as an RPG goes, it's just mainly made up of fetch quests. You run around, use different skills, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I even had to run and go find a stapler for a guy. You can keep using these Eggman signal locators, and it's all very fetch questy. And the whole time it just feels like you're running around in towns rather than ever going out and truly exploring. Even the puzzles in the game are really basic, and it's a little weird because you can't actually go up to the puzzles and just do them. You have to talk to a guy that's standing next to him, and he'll say, "Hey Sonic, I gotta get in here, I have to solve this. Can you do it for me?" And then, and only then, will it actually become active. So you get little things like that. They're kind of amateurish as far as making RPGs and really laying things out for the player. And it just feels like you're going from interaction point to interaction point instead of really, exploring. There are also a few little oddities in the presentation overall. You have sound effects that kind of cut off, or they sound really low quality overall. The interface is anything but intuitive for equipping items, since it just kind of throws everything in this huge list instead of dividing it up if it's for someone's head or for their hands. So you don't really get a good grasp of what you've got all on your characters. And you've also got some strange collision with the leveled art, since it's a perspective 2D that's basically painted with collision on it. And then also the camera can't always keep up. It gets kind of framey and does some random things like that. In the end, it isn't like that Sonic is just a downright bad game. It's visually pleasing. It's made to be a good starter RPG. And, if you dig Sonic, there's some cool things to see, some big teammate attacks. And, it does feel like the Sonic world's kind of been opened a little more than just, running right and jumping. Especially when you look at the characters, they actually did a good job of dividing them up and saying, okay, this person's going to be a thief class, this person's going to be healing or support. And in that sense, it's really neat. You get the pairing of the teammate attacks, and you also get this where you say, okay, this guy's really unique. I want to bring Knuckles along, or I want to bring Tails along, because they're really fun to play with. Even the skill system and different attributes, really cool, and it's definitely a step in the right direction for BioWare as a new handheld team, and also for Sonic Chronicles if it sticks around. If you're crazy about Sonic, it's worth at least giving it a look, but for anybody else, Dark Brotherhood's really going to be a letdown when you look at some of the other RPG offerings that are already on DS. To check out the full written review, go to IGN.com.